Hello, everybody. Of course, welcome back to another episode of XtalknIsh with your boy X.
And this.
You already know what to do. If you are on Facebook, please make sure you like and share this broadcast. If you are on our Facebook page, please go ahead and hit that like button on our Facebook page. And as well, if you are on YouTube, go ahead and hit us up, hit that red subscribe button, and as well, go ahead and hit that notification bell so you can be notified for shows like this one in the future.
D.
Thank you for that, Ish. And as well, if you are on Twitter, go ahead and check us out at X Talking Ish. And as well, go ahead and check us out on my personal page at X Williams 81. I did it again, Ish. I did it
Bro, you
another week.
always messing that stuff up. I
Every
don't know
week,
how you do that.
how do I mess up my own handle? You feel me? I don't get it. Anyways, but as always, we appreciate everybody for tuning in. Shout out to my boy, Mr. Damian McQueen, out here checking us out on the book. He said he's here, and we are, of course, about to talk about some week 6 preview football. Of course, McQueen is a Ravens fan. We will definitely talk about that game coming up shortly. Fraction One said, "Let's go, morning, everyone," and Damian also says, "It's the daddy brain, aka man, we all fathers out here. You know how that goes. Things just be slipping your mind. It's just hey, it's gonna be it's been a long weekend. It's gonna a long Saturday of college football. I don't know if anybody checked out them college games yesterday,
Upsets galore.
but that was pretty amazing yesterday regarding the upsets. Of course, if you are a sports fan in general, you also had some baseball being played as well too, and depending on what team, fan of team you are,
I'm happy you brought that up.
Hey,
what's going on with your evil empire?
Folks love coming at me by my Yankees, and I have no problems doing that. I have no problems
because you always taking the
heat.
Astros.
First of all, I enjoy the bickering with my fellow Astro fans. I honestly enjoy it because guess what? For a franchise or an organization to continue to just hang on to their one championship in 2017, it sounds kind of close like Eagle fans to me. That I'm just saying, it sounds like you have won 20 championships. In reality, you've only won one. But again, sooner or later, Astros fans will come back down to reality. So it is what it is. Also, you have hockey starting back up. You also have preseason basketball as well too. So October is a beautiful month regarding sports. So sit tight, relax. We are going to get y'all ready for this upcoming slate of football. We do have, of course, teams in bye weeks, so we don't have the full slate of games. Thank God we have no overseas games. Kind of thank God, kind of not, because again, I like waking up in the morning for some football, but if I had to see them stanky, raggedy ass New York Giants playing overseas, I just don't want to have to do it.
Chill with the slander, though. I mean, Danny Dimes put on a show. I don't know what else could you ask for them to do what they did. The New York Giants, bro, don't sleep on the Giants just yet. Danny Dimes.
Oh, don't worry, we're gonna talk about them Giants real soon. Don't worry, we will. Shout out to Randy Gaines. She says Sunday equals football and homebrew. Let's go Chiefs, or should I say Chiefs? That's how y'all say. And again, Fraction One that says I get to watch 2 games today. Shout out to the bye week. Again, if you're in Houston, y'all know how that go.
Oh, thank you.
I'm just saying,
man.
And Damien says they are.
The Lord came through in the clutch for us.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Again, as always, if y'all tune in every Sunday, y'all know we, of course, run down the weekly slate. We also, of course, this week bringing back If I Was a Betting Man, and also Ish will let me know about his don't be upset pick. I have my pick. Ish has not given me his pick yet.
I already gave you my pick.
Throw it in the private chat so I can know, set it up.
Dude, you already know. It's the pick that I just
told you. I know. Okay,
my bad.
I know what it is now. Okay. We'll preview that real soon. So let's go ahead and get into first game on the slate. 49ers coming in 4-point favorite as the road favorite, I should say, against the Atlanta Falcons. Ish, first of all, before we jump into this game, can you let the people know why you are not showing your face at this moment?
Yeah, because I'm sick. If you can't tell by just how terrible my voice sounds, I am absolutely incredibly sick. I got terrible allergies. Kids were outside all day yesterday. Apparently, ragweed is high in Houston right now, and it is killing me. So I do not have a camera on because I do not feel like looking at the camera or y'all looking at my sick behind with snot and all sorts of stuff just running down my nose. And yeah.
So, AKA, pretty much what you're saying, he ugly. He ugly,
Yeah.
everybody. He don't want to show his face. He don't want to show
Uglier
his
than
face.
usual.
He
Uglier
ugly.
than
So
usual.
let my boy make it today.
Yeah,
Hopefully he'll
please.
show his beautiful face once again on a Tuesday. But for right now, he's hiding behind that screen. And
Yeah.
well, I'm just happy that we at least have his voice to talk about these games. As y'all can see, it's not too much to talk about really when it comes to this game. Don't get me wrong. I've been very high on the Atlanta Falcons when it comes to I expect them to be a team that's going to give people difficulties in games. I don't expect them to win 11, 12 games. I've never said that, but they are a team that has battled tremendously over these last 5 weeks of the season. Their record does not indicate the team that they are. They have some talent on that team, but let's be real though, we all know that this is probably a 6-win team at best. And the 49ers, I feel as though the 49ers are falling into the right place when it comes to some of these teams to get Jimmy G back into the groove of things, playing for the 49ers once again, Ish.
Yeah. I mean, I think for Atlanta, they've been fighting very valiantly. One of the things that I've been excited about this Atlanta team is just how well the offense has worked out. They've just been able to do the kind of things that they needed to do. They really leaned on Cordell Patterson. They keep games interesting. They fight. And that's a big, big thing. If they can continue this throughout the rest of the season and going forward, there are some things to be excited about in Atlanta in this rebuild that they got going on, because it might mean, especially in the NFC South, you might be able to turn it around sooner rather than later. So definitely exciting there. And I think their best blocker is going to return today. So that bodes well for them because, he's going to be able to go out there and maybe he'll make a key block to win the game. I don't know. We know he's not going to make a key catch though.
I'm happy that you brought up the turnaround regarding the NFC South. I mean, honestly look at the division the same way I kind of look at the AFC South regarding. I mean, we all know this is Brady's last year. Hopefully, we think.
Yep.
We don't really know. Tom Brady will come back again next
year. He don't got
year.
no reason to go home now.
Hey, you feel me? I mean, hey, no reason to go home.
Might as well play another year, right? Might as well.
So that regime should be given over to another quarterback, we would think. Carolina, they're probably going to start over again, right? I mean, they're not going to have PJ Walker as their guy moving forward, and we'll talk about him shortly.
Did we confirm that PJ is starting today?
PJ is starting today. No, PJ is starting today.
Okay, that's what I wanted to confirm.
But overall, again, even with the Saints, are they that committed to Jameis? I mean, this is an interesting division
I don't think so.
Because moving forward, again, like this division can go right back what it once was when it comes to worst team being the best team next year.
Yep.
And just doing what the NFC South has done for 15 plus years in the past before the Saints pretty much took over that division. I could see the same thing happening once again when it comes to trying to just steady the ship, get the right pieces in there. So when it is time to make that run, bada bing, bada boom, you ready to go. But the first thing that the Falcons have to work on, for me, I feel as though, is the offensive line and the defense. Once you get those
quick question before we move on. Quick question for you. At some point this season, do you think we see Desmond Ridder? Do you think he comes in? I mean, I don't feel like there's an urgency from the Falcons.
Yeah.
I don't think Atlanta – I think they realize there's no way they're competing for anything anyway. So I don't know that there's a need for him to come in, but do you think at some point we might see him come in?
That's a great question, honestly. I mean, we talked about that in the preseason when it comes to this is the guy I look out for to come in and play, and that was really based on Marcus Mariota's performance when it comes to if either was going to get hurt or if his play is just that bad to where they just going to have to pull him and Desmond Ridder come in because, like you said, hey, we're playing for nothing. Let's just go ahead and move on. Right now, I think it's kind of hard to say. We are finally, I feel as though, in the real parts of football. We're in week 6 now, so we really get to see how good or bad these teams are. The Falcons let's be real, got hoed last week with that Tampa Bay performance to where I think everybody gets a mulligan from that. Arthur Smith, Mariota, I mean, any and everybody. Of course, Cordell Patterson didn't play as well. He's a little banged up. I hope that the Falcons don't run him into the ground because he's a hell of a player. I mean, as an athlete overall, no matter what position you put him at, he's a hell of a player. But I hope that he don't get run into the ground to where he doesn't get his well-deserved payday as well moving forward, if not for the Falcons somewhere. So overall, do I see a Ritter sighting? If they're 4 games under 500 by week 12, I mean, honestly, yes. I
but
don't see
why.
And so here's the thing:
just to get him
this situation is different compared to Tennessee's situation when it comes to Malik Willis. I get asked this literally every week from people saying, "When is Malik Willis going to play? When is Malik Willis going to play?" He's not playing unless something happened to Ryan Tannehill, either getting hurt or performance. Right now, Tannehill has not happened for him, or to him, I should say. And even if you do insert Malik Willis now, it's not like he's going to change the whole dynamic for the Titans to where you say, well, now I feel like we can definitely get to the AFC Championship game and maybe get to a Super Bowl. I don't see that happening with Malik Willis. This situation, we all know that Marcus Mariota is a bridge quarterback. There's a lot of people that before this even started that was laughing at Atlanta because they picked up Marcus Mariota and because of his injury issues in the past, looked at Mariota as, he's not even going to play for more than 4 games anyway, so it doesn't rid of the team moving forward. Right now, he's playing.
He's solid. Decent. I mean, he's doing all right.
He's playing decent. Yeah. He's staying healthy. So, yes, he's earned that starting position right now. But again, depending on how things look by week 12, if they are under 500 and not playing for anything, that's why I'm answering your question regarding if you're not playing anything, throw the Rook in there, give him some PT because this could be his team moving forward to where Desmond Ridder could be the starter next year.
Okay. That's fair.
That's just my opinion. But anywho, let's go ahead and move on. I know people are probably tired of us talking about that game, so let's go ahead and move on. To the Patriots and Browns, I think this is a very interesting matchup. I'll let you take this one first. The Browns are 2.5 home favorite.
Yeah, Browns. This one for me is one of those games where it's like really either way. It's kind of a toss-up game. It really just depends on how the Patriots defense matches up against this Browns running game. Patriots, their defense so far this season hasn't been that great against the run, but we all know how Bill Belichick likes to come up with his schemes and confuse quarterbacks and make teams lean on, the aspects of their game that they maybe don't want to lean on.
I mean, we saw that last week, right? With the Lions. We did. I mean, we thought, we both picked the Lions. We thought that the Lions over the first 4 weeks of the season that they were going to at least score a touchdown, right? I mean, the Patriots, we still don't know really who the Patriots are. And for them to put a shutout on the Lions, I'm still trying to figure out if they are real or not. I'm confused. I really do not know what's going with both of these teams. I'm talking about the Patriots and the Lions. I say this every year. Just because you start off hot doesn't mean you're going to end hot. Just because you start off slow doesn't mean you're going to, end the season trash. We saw it last year with the Colts. They were able to, 2 years ago when they started out slow and won a division. It happens every year. Could the Patriots be that team that make a second half run and maybe get a chance to make a playoff run? I mean, maybe, again, depending on how that division shapes up, especially with the way the Dolphins are looking. I don't know if they are hesitant to put Tua back in because they don't want to be that bad guy to put him in too early. So, maybe the Patriots can be that team that can try to sneak up because of their defense and they don't have to rely on either Mac Jones or Zappy to come in there and pretty much lead their offense to glory.
I mean, I think the Patriots are happy with Zappy. And as a result, I'm picking the Patriots. I think that the Patriots will find a way. I think last week's performance definitely gave me insight into don't sleep on Bill Belichick and some of the adjustments he makes, right? And for the Browns right now, they just don't seem to be that team that we were maybe expecting them to be, even without Deshaun Watson, right? Yes, they have the number 1 rushing attack in the league, but Jacoby Brissett is playing a lot worse than I think people even anticipated. I think people thought they would see something more like what you might be seeing from Daniel Jones. even Geno Smith at this moment is
Ooh,
outplaying
we'll
Jacoby
get them.
Brissett, and
We'll
I
get
don't
them
think
soon
anyone
too.
saw that coming. So the Browns, I think they still need to figure a couple of things out, and I'm just gonna go with the Patriots. I'm gonna trust in Zappy and what he might do.
No, look, I respect it. I do. I'm trying to figure out if last week was an anomaly. Was it
Yeah,
something that's just Bill Belichick got you on that day? Because at the end of the day, this is a guy that's been in the league for 40 years coaching compared to a first year head coach or second year head coach. I don't know. So I'm going to throw that week away. I'm going to focus on what's going on now with this week.
yeah, that's fair.
I'm trying to figure out, can Belichick stop that running game? Can Belichick, or at least not even stop it, just neutralize
Just
it?
slow it
Be
down a
able to
little bit.
contain it a little bit to where you put the pressure on Brissett. Now I'm not even gonna lie. Now that I'm thinking about this once again, Brissett was a backup quarterback there in New England, so Bill Belichick knows about Jacoby Brissett and also his strengths and his weaknesses. So it wouldn't surprise me at all. Bill Belichick out there concocting a game plan to make sure that Brissett is uncomfortable as possible in that pocket, because Brissett is not he's more of a pocket passer than he is a dual threat. You're not really worried about him running the ball than
Yeah,
you
he
are
doesn't want to
about him
lean on
passing.
his legs. You're right. He
So
would prefer not to.
excuse me. So for Belichick, it wouldn't surprise me at all if you see a lot of overload blitzes. You see a lot of zone blitzes. You see a lot of things that are going to have to make Jacoby hold on to the ball a little longer than he wants to. Now that I'm talking myself out of the pick to where I really want to go back. I really want to go to the Patriots and maybe they have this upset on the road. But in reality, again, if the Browns do what they do, they should have enough talent on both sides of the ball to take care of this game. Jadeveon Clowney is out for this game. But let's be real, Ish, and we both know this. Jadeveon Clowney probably has been a shell of himself since probably leaving Houston.
I would agree with that.
I mean, even with the Titans, I mean, it was okay. It wasn't $100 million defensive end type of play. That's just my question. I mean, my opinion on that one. All right, let's go ahead and move on with the Jets versus Packers. Let's be real, Ish. Any other year, we would probably look at this matchup and everybody would probably automatically say, hey, we're going with the Packers. But the Jets are trying to resurge. The Jets are trying to get a little dog in them back from Zach Wilson and crew and trying to make a little bit of a run in the middle part of the season. We're going to really see about both of these teams. I know it sounds crazy, but are the Jets really going to come into Lambeau and put some pressure on the Packers to maybe come out with an upset win-ish?
Yeah, I think so. I've been riding with the Jets past couple of weeks. I know people been thinking I'm crazy going with the Jets, but as you've seen the past couple of weeks, hey, this Jets team, there was a reason we were all excited about the offensive weapons they had compiled and the young guys and what they were going to be able to do there. And also the defense is playing well too. Defense is playing well enough to keep the team in the game. Holding people last week, they held the Dolphins to 17 points. We know. Not everybody was playing for the Dolphins, but still they've held. They held them to 17, and the Steelers to 20, Ravens to 24. I think that this Jets team, they got a little something to them, and even on the road in Green Bay, I think they're going to be able to go out there and maybe pile it on reeling Green Bay Packers team. Last week they lost, a heartbreaker to the Giants. They got it all the way down into the 10-yard line and then turned over on downs and really lost that game over in London. And I'm just thinking there's so many problems right now. They don't have an identity. Last week they only rushed for 94 yards, only threw for 207 yards against the Giants. I just don't know if I trust what's going on in Green Bay. I came on Tuesday and put them on red alert. And as part of putting them on red alert, I think the Jets go in there and sneak one away.
Red alert, red alert, red alert. You know what that means? As just say, hey, look out. Upset alert this week. Of course, we'll get to our upset picks very soon, but as you can see, this is a little bit of segue going into our upset picks, and Ish is not. Ish is very confident in his Jets, and I will say I'm gonna throw you under the bus. Ish was going with the Packers at first. He was going with the Packers.
I was.
And then he says, you know what? I'm gonna ride with the Jets. Okay, I'm gonna put it on tape. I've been riding with the Jets the last couple of weeks, and I've been right. So I'm gonna ride with them again. And I'll be the first one to say that if the Jets come out of Lambeau with a win, I will bow down to Ish on Tuesday. I will bow down to him because obviously he is the sorcerer of football this season because he is just out here making these amazing picks. Because last year I dusted him in pick'ems. This year I know you're probably up by at least 5 or 6 games. You still haven't tallied them up yet, but you need to tally them up for the people. So
I do need to tally them up.
Let the folks know what the pick'ems record is at the moment. But I respect Ish for this pick. I'm not going to do it. I don't think if Aaron Rodgers do everything in his will to make sure that they come out of here with a win, because if they don't, it's going to be a very long week in Wisconsin moving forward because that is not a win. That is not a team that they should be losing to. All right, let's go ahead and move on to a AFC South divisional matchup, and I'll have, of course, my partner join us a little bit shortly. He had to step away just for a second, but we have, of course, the Jaguars and the Colts. The Colts are a home 1.5 point favorite. And after 5 weeks of the season, I still don't know anything about these teams. I don't know what the hell is going on. I mean, I literally just said about the Colts 2 years ago, starting out slow, making a run, and was able to make the playoffs. I'm not saying it can't happen, but right now, Matt Ryan just do not look good at all. I mean, and it's not even like, oh, let's get on Phillip Rivers because, you know, he throws the game-ending interception, even though he threw for 400 yards and 3 touchdowns. Like, it's not even that. It's Matt Ryan, like, you look like shit. Like, I'm going to leave it at that. Like, you look like the poop emoji.
My gosh.
Yeah, and with that being said, for myself, I'll let Ish, do his spiel. I'm picking the Jags just based off of consistency. Don't get me wrong. Of course, the Jags have had a couple losses on the season, but overall, I just believe in them more. To believe in a second-year quarterback over a guy that could potentially go to the Hall of Fame, it's not a good look right now. The Colts expected more out of Matt Ryan. I'm thinking they still expect more out of Matt Ryan moving forward. But the way that the season has started off for the Colts, it has not been ideal. Shaquille Leonard is still out again for this game with a concussion. I just do not know the direction of the Colts and where they are going. And I'm not even talking about this season, but moving forward, like what quarterback position, like what are you doing with that?
Wilson.
Sure, why not? Right after he rides with the Broncos, he go to the Colts. Sure, why not? But I mean, I just don't know what's going on with those guys. And right now, just based off of consistency, I have to go to Jacksonville Jaguars.
Yeah, I'm picking the Jacksonville Jaguars because I'm more picking against Matt Ryan in that offense than I'm picking the Jacksonville Jaguars. Both teams have been inconsistent. Both teams have been kind of Jekyll and Hyde. Both teams are still trying to really solidify their identities. And the Colts are the ones with the biggest flaws. To me, that offense is dead last in points scored, only averaging 13.8 points per game. And you're going up against the 4th best scoring defense in the league, who's only giving up 16 points a game. So I do think if there's one thing that helps you when you're going through these ups and downs, it's a solid defense. If your defense can be solid, if your defense can do what they need to do to kind of prevent teams from scoring points, you always have a chance, right? And that's why I'm going to pick the Jacksonville Jaguars today. Matt Ryan, I don't know if maybe he needs to be benched. I don't know.
For Mr. Sam Ellinger.
I guess.
Another Texas boy out here doing this thing. I mean, even with Matt Ryan getting benched, I'm not saying that the Colts are going to be better because of Sam Ehlinger. I mean, they're most likely going to be worse. But again, benching Matt Ryan really doesn't solve anything, right? I mean, that's the unfortunate situation you're in with the Colts. Because I mean, benching him, cool. So you give him what, $32 million to sit on the bench and let Sam Ehlinger, go out there and sling that thing and still come up with the same results as Matt Ryan. You could have gave Sam Ehlinger that money, right? Yeah. I mean, it's very interesting if you're a Colts fan right now, because I'm pretty sure you're coming into every week like, sure, let's see what happens this week, because I mean the offense is literally throw up. The worst offense in the league right now. I was not. I'm pretty sure everybody assumed that it would be the Texans, the Bears, the Jets, some other team besides the Colts to be the worst scoring offense in the league right now. But hey, here we are. That's why we played a game on the field and not on paper. All right, let's go ahead and get into this matchup right quick. The Minnesota Vikings come down to South Beach and take on the Miami Dolphins. Of course, Tua will be out again for this game. Really no surprise for most people, but next week could be Tua's return, and that also will be Brian Flores' return as well to Miami for the first time since that, of course, famous lawsuit that came out. So we could see a Tua sighting sometime next week once again. But for right now, the Vikings come in as a 3-point road favorite, and for that, I do have the Vikings winning. Overall, I mean, they're 4-1 in their division. I know Ish don't believe in the Vikings right now. I know he's waiting for them to fall off in the second half of the season. I know he is, but until somebody stop Justin Jefferson, the Vikings are going to be okay. And I'm excited to see this matchup with Xavier Howard and Justin Jefferson on the outside. We'll see what happens with that. I expect Justin Jefferson to have another big day. I mean, he's really trying to be that guy. He's trying to be, as he say, I'm him. As Mr. Diggs would say, I'm him. Mr. Jefferson, he is him. Okay. So when somebody decides to slow him down, I will not pick the Vikings. But for right now, I think that Dolphins secondary is going to have their hands full with Justin Jefferson.
Yeah, I mean, really, I'm more so picking the Vikings because of the depleted Miami Dolphins at this time. I think for me, like I said about, I think it was last week on the preview show, maybe it was on the recap on Tuesday, but I'm not concerned about the Dolphins at the moment because this part of the schedule really for me, it doesn't matter too much, right? This isn't the part of the schedule where even if you had Tua, I'm sitting here and I'm going like, oh yeah, man, you just walking through this part of the schedule, right? So I can see them losing this game. And then look, you got the Steelers, the Lions, the Bears, the Browns, the Texans. I mean, all in a row nicely for you. So you can lose this. I think they can afford to lose this game, bring Tua back, and then just kind of start ramping up, preparing, to flip that switch at the right time in the season. The Vikings, I still don't believe in them. Kirk Cousins is, yeah.
Don't you disrespect Captain America like that, sir. Okay, Captain America gonna come and save the day.
Danny Dimes, he can't hold Danny Dimes' jock strap.
Okay, we'll get to Danny Dimes real soon. Don't worry, we'll get to Danny Dimes real soon. But before we do that, let's go ahead and get to everybody's favorite topic of the evening. Don't be upset. We, of course, pick teams that we think will be on an upset alert and who will upset them for today. And I'll start off first. My pick, I have the Seattle Seahawks over the Arizona Cardinals. The Cardinals are a 2.5-point road favorite. So even though the Seahawks are playing at home, they are the underdogs. So technically, this would be an upset if the Seahawks beat the Cardinals, even though they are at home. I'm just looking at the Seahawks as a whole. I mean, Geno Smith is just playing out of his mind right now. I'll be honest with you, I don't think Geno Smith expected to play this well. Let's be real. I knew he expected to play well, but 76% completion rating. I mean, 11 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. I mean, that's Geno Smith from West Virginia. You feel me? Like, we haven't seen that since West Virginia. So shout out to Geno for being able to revamp his career and be able to have a guy like Pete Carroll and an offensive coordinator create a game plan for him that is effective and puts him in great position to be successful. That's really what it's about too, Ish. I mean, because it's not just on Geno Smith. This is also on the coaching staff for adjusting for what Russ was doing before to now giving the ball to Geno and making sure that they still have that running game to where they put Geno in good areas and good position to not have to make him force the ball downfield, force it in places that don't need to be forced. And at the moment, you have a quarterback that's playing well. You have a team that potentially could maybe have over a 500 record. Again, I don't expect the Seahawks to make really too much noise in the NFC, but to be a team that was picked last to be, to finish the season off last and to have a over 500 record, that's a winning season to me.
Yeah. I think, like I said earlier, Geno Smith, no one expected him to be playing the way he's been playing. And, hats off to the coaching staff in Seattle for, trusting him, putting their faith in him. There was a lot of talk about Drew Lock when he first was acquired, but that quickly died down and Geno took the reins. And, the team has definitely been behind him the whole time. So that is a good thing to see. You like to see a locker room that is united, that trust in their guy, believe in him. And I think that's part of the reason why he's played so well, because he's not looking over his shoulder or anything. I think he knows that this is his job and he's just out there playing free. And it shows on the field. Seattle has definitely been a breath of fresh air from what we expected them to be, unlike the Denver Broncos, who was supposedly going to be upgraded thanks to Russell Wilson.
Yeah,
and unfortunately, we got to watch them again on Monday night.
Wrong. Everything you said is not wrong. They have a chance to get back to 500 to win against the Cardinals, and I see that happening. Ish, your upset pick of the week?
Yeah, Jets over the Packers. I already talked about it. The Jets, I just think that their young offense weapons, they're gonna be able to do what they need to do. I expect a big day for Breece Hall running the ball and catching it out of the backfield, and then on the defensive side, I expect the secondary to just give Aaron Rodgers fits, man. Just, stay close to these receivers, make them make good throws, put pressure on these rookies to run the wrong routes and all sorts of other nonsense that these young wide receivers are doing in Green Bay, and continue the frustration for Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, we'll see how Aaron Rodgers look after this game, if he's gonna again go to the pack. That med pack, that them shrooms pack, or if he's going,
you funny.
Yeah, if he's going, hey, look, he the one that say he on psychedelics. I ain't say this. This man said this. Okay, I ain't say this. All right, let's get to the second segment of the morning as well too. I want to say evening. I feel as though we're on Tuesday, and I want to say evening, but my apologies. We're in the morning.
Not Tuesday, bro.
And and of course, if I was a betting man, of course I throw out a couple of prop bets, hopefully that might come true. You can, of course, follow me, or you can say F you X in your picks because you trash. It's up to you. The first one I have is the money line for Cowboys to win. And, of course, we'll talk about that game shortly as well. That is a Sunday night football game that a lot of people are anticipating. Right now, look, if you want to throw down $100 for the Cowboys, you win $215. Meaning you throw 100, you win $215 on that one. And I honestly feel like for that game-ish, and we'll get to that game again another about 15, 20 minutes, that game can go either way. Even though the Eagles are a 6.5-point favorite at home, don't count the Cowboys out. I mean, to be a team that is giving up 14 points a game, I mean, that defense alone will put you in position to be able to win a game you're probably not supposed to. So check out that money line for the Cowboys. Also, over/under for 2.5 passing touchdowns for Josh Allen. Of course, we will talk about that game as well before we talk about the Cowboys-Eagles game, and that is a rematch of the divisional playoff matchup, obviously, between the Bills and the Chiefs last year that prompted for the new overtime rule changes when it comes to both teams getting a possession of the football now. I expect this to be just like it was last year regarding going to be a lot of fireworks. And I think this might be a pretty solid bet to make some money off of. Throw 100, get 135 back. Again, Josh Allen throwing for over 2.5 touchdowns, meaning throwing for 3 or more touchdowns. I'm hoping that he gets that. I don't see why he can't get that. Kansas City's defense, in my opinion, is not what it once was. I think it's good. It's still good enough to get them to an AFC championship game. But Josh Allen going to put boys on notice. So watch out for that over-under. And as well, my last prop bet, and just to give y'all also a recap on some of these bets, these are all on DraftKings as well. So if you want to check these bets out on DraftKings, some of these lines might be different on other betting apps, or of course, if you are at the sports book at your local casino. Right now, I see Jamar Chase as an anytime touchdown scorer at 105. The Bengals are playing back in New Orleans once again. We all know the history and the connection of Joey Burrow with his boy Jamar Chase. Joe Burrow was seen wearing Jamar Chase's jersey walking into the Superdome this morning. So I don't know about you guys, but I kind of put 2 and 2 together when it comes to Joe Burrow is going to make sure Jamar Chase has I won't say a breakout, but just have a decent type of game today. Watch out for 6 catches, 80 yards minimum, 1 touchdown minimum. Go ahead and win you some money on that anytime touchdown scorer from Jamar Chase. So that was our, of course, if I was a betting man picks. Just want to run back the bye week teams right quick as well. So if you don't know, we do have 4 teams that are on bye weeks: Lions, Texans, Raiders, and the Titans. So just to give y'all a heads up, if you don't see these teams on your TV screen, there's a reason for that, because they're not playing this week. So
well, that's good.
There you go. All right, let's go ahead and segue right into what I was talking about earlier when it comes to the Bengals and Saints. The Bengals take on New Orleans Saints in New Orleans. And I am very worried about the New Orleans Saints right now. They have a lot of people banged up, especially on the offensive side of the ball. We did see, of course, another sighting for Mr. Swiss Army Knife himself, Mr. Taysom Hill. He did ball out last week. My question to you is do you see a repeat performance from Mr. Swiss Army Knife against the Bengals?
I don't know if we see a repeat performance, only because, I mean, you've shown it just last week. So I would expect the Bengals to really go and game plan against that. I wouldn't expect him to catch them by surprise, right? So I don't know if we see exactly what we saw last week, but I expect him to have a solid game, trying to make things happen. But I just don't think that it's there. Too many people banged up, not a lot of opportunities for them to make plays on the offensive side. It's one of those seasons where you just can't keep anybody healthy, really.
I mean, it kind of reminded you of, me, kind of the Ravens. I know it's 2 completely different situations. The Ravens, it seems though they were dropping like flies on the practice field every dang week. But the Saints, they kind of had this. They kind of had this as well last year with their team, where they had a couple of key guys get injured and they just couldn't get things back right. I was hoping this season would be a lot different for them, but it just seems more the same. It's not, life's not fair, right? But it's not fair for Dennis Allen. Dennis Allen gets thrown into this mix as a first-year head coach, even though he was defensive coordinator in the years past. But right now, at the end of the day, you are the head honcho, and the questions and the concerns will come down on Dennis Allen regarding what's going on with this team. Like I said, there is a second half of the season, so things can change for the Saints. But right now, it's just not looking good at all. So that's why I have the Bengals. I think the Bengals will – I think they're going to win pretty decisively. I think by 2 touchdowns or more. That's just how bad of a game I think this could be for the Saints.
All right, let's not be that serious, but
we'll see. As always, we shall see. All right, we're gonna start getting into some of these better games this of this Sunday slate, the Ravens versus Giants. I'm loving this matchup because, to be honest with you, we get to see more about both of these teams. I'm not sold on the Giants record. I'm putting it out there. I will say
Because
once,
you're
I
a
said it
hater.
again. That's fine. And I don't know what the hell's going on with these Ravens. I don't. Again, they've given up 2 games where they were leading more than 17 points. They easily probably could be 4-1 right now. It could be 5-0, but they are where they are right now. They go into MetLife as a 5.5-point road favorite, and as you can see, most people kind of believe in the Ravens before the Giants. And who knows? Maybe the Giants with Brian Daboll use this as motivation once again, like they did last week across the pond when nobody expected them to beat the Packers. So this could be more of the same for them playing against the Ravens. But I just think collectively as a whole, the Ravens are a better team. I think the Ravens come out with this win. But I want to see how the Giants play now that, look, you are, I want to say the hunter or the hunted. You're just being looked at now. People are actually looking at you because people were not expecting for y'all to be 4-1 at this point of the season. So we're gonna see how good y'all really are, Giants. And this is probably one of their better tests for the start of the season.
Yeah, the key for me is how do they neutralize Lamar Jackson in that run game? Because honestly speaking, we saw last week Lamar was struggling with the passing game. He missed a couple wide open wide receivers. And it kind of goes back to that age-old game plan against Lamar Jackson. If you kind of hem him up in the run game, force him to throw outside the numbers, it's kind of hard for him to beat you. And I know that they were able to win that game, but there were so many things that you saw that you were just like, if you're playing a better team, like this is how you take yourself out of these games, right? This is how you don't follow through and win a game when you're up by 17 points. However, I don't know that the Giants are going to be able to stop that run game. And I also am concerned about how much energy was kind of put into winning that game across the pond. One of the things that you always hear is don't get too high, don't get too low throughout the season.
Yep.
I feel like that was a big, as if you saw like Brian Dable running off the field and everything.
He was hype. He was hype.
That was a big win for the Giants, and I know they feel good, and it's kind of one of those like, yeah, you doubted us, but look at us now. But at the same time, I think they're a little too high at this moment, and I'm a little concerned about their mentality coming into this game.
Hey, as they say, the same things that make you laugh will make you cry, right? So when it comes to, like they're saying with Brian Dable and crew, look, we're not telling y'all to not enjoy the things that you're going through, using the motivation of the haters from the outside, thinking that we can't be successful. I'm not saying doing any of that, but like you said, when it comes to successful head coaches in the league, I'm talking about obviously the Bill Belichick's, the Mike Tomlins, even John Harbaugh. Those guys, for the most part, are usually even killed. And the reason why they've been at their organizations for 10 plus years is because they know that you cannot get too high. You cannot get too low. You have to steady the ship. And that's what I'm saying is when it comes to this Giants team, we're going to see really how are they going to be right now at week 6. And then we'll check back in with them in week 12, because that was a big win against the Packers over the pond. But if you lose this game and then you start losing the next 3 out of 4, and now all of a sudden, you're back to 500, and all of a sudden, you're not, or you're 2 games over 500 to say, and you're not what you once were, the division is kind of slipping away from you. How do you respond? So that's really what we're going to see from both of these teams moving forward. As y'all can see, Ish and I both have the Ravens. But again, I want to see how this game plays out. Would it surprise me if the Giants win? Honestly, yes, Ish. It will. It will surprise me if the Giants win. But it surprised me last week when they won. So I really don't know what to do right now, Ish. All right, so let's go ahead and move on to a game I know Ish probably does not really want to talk about because I know he's a very, very fond of the Steelers at the moment. The Buccaneers come in as a road favorite, 9.5 points. Road favorite at that, and as you can see, that is the highest road favorite coming into this Sunday. Obviously, Kenny Pickett is now the starter for the Pittsburgh Steelers. And this is not the defense you probably want to go up against as a rookie. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers defense is not firing on all cylinders just yet, but this might be the game that gets them going. Kenny Pickett, besides the stat line that was last week, the 3 interceptions, 2 rushing touchdowns, the 3 interceptions look horrible. It is what it is. But I will say, the rushing touchdowns are encouraging because it shows that he's not scared to go and get in the mix. Okay. So with that being said, will Mike Tomlin and crew create a game plan that allows Kenny Pickett to be successful with this offense against a defense like Tampa Bay Buccaneers that we all know is going to be coming for Kenny Pickett and going to try their hardest to stop the running game?
I mean, they'll create a game plan. Whether or not they're able to execute that game plan is a whole other story. Because, you trying to find something to be positive about with the rushing touchdowns.
I'm definitely in.
But this Steelers team is bad. Yeah. They are Michael Jackson bad. And I don't know. I got a lot of respect for Mike Tomlin. So it hurts me to keep picking against the Steelers team and seeing them work closer and closer towards a losing record. But I don't know how they turn it around. It just doesn't look good. They're not really doing anything at the moment that's great or good. They're just kind of so at a lot of things. And even the mentality that Steeler mystique seems to not be a thing at the moment.
I mean, we thought it was there week 1 with the Bengals. You know, Mika was out there balling.
No, you thought it was there.
I mean, that's fine. That's fine. I'll be the one to go out there on a limb and say, yes, I thought everything was going to be all right after week 1.
Didn't you pick them to win the division or make the playoffs?
I did. I picked them to win the division.
Okay.
Now looking back on it, it's not looking good. But again, that's why the game is played on the field, not on paper, right?
Even on paper, we could have told you that was a mistake.
Y'all gonna stop getting on me. I'll tell you that right now. Y'all gonna stop it. Everybody on the interweb, y'all get on me. I'm showing up to your house. Right now. I'm coming to your house right now. Stop playing with me. But anyways, let's go ahead and move on to an NFC matchup that's kind of it doesn't happen too often. Panthers versus the Rams. The Panthers take that cross-country trip over to LA, coming as a 10-point underdog against the Rams. At the moment, of course, Baker Mayfield will not be starting. Of course, Sam Darnold is nowhere to be found. So the starting quarterback position at the moment will be P.J. Walker, of course, a career journeyman at this moment. And let's be real, we talked about this last week when it comes to this might be P.J. Walker's last time playing for the Panthers because once they set up a new regime over there, P.J. Walker might not be there anymore.
He's probably out of the league at this point.
Well, not so fast, my friend. If he has an opportunity to play very well with the Panthers, which I'm not banking on, maybe he could find himself as a backup somewhere else moving forward in NFL because
maybe. Well, no, because my only thought was he played really well in the Pep Hamilton system when he was in the XFL. Pep Hamilton, currently the offensive coordinator of the Houston Texans. Mm-hmm. I mean, that would be a shout to him, being able to come be a backup, a third string quarterback.
I mean, right where he played, right here in the XFL as well, too.
Exactly. Right here in XFL, you got some comfort being there. Mm-hmm. I don't know that would happen. I don't know that they would be able to manifest that only because you got Davis Mills right now. They still, for some reason, believe in Davis Mills. And even if they are ready to move on from Davis Mills, they'll be moving on to a quarterback in the draft. And I don't know that you necessarily need a third string quarterback to come in and do anything for you. So I don't know. We'll see. But This game is easily the Rams to lose and nothing else. I'm not expecting any surprises or gotchas. I'm expecting a win for the Rams.
I mean, I feel the exact same way. If the Rams can't beat the Panthers at home, my Super Bowl pick is done. It's really no coming back from this right now. I'll give the Rams that mulligan last week against the Cowboys. The Cowboys, I feel, are a better team than the Rams right now at this moment. But this is a game the Rams have to get this back going. If they do not, you might as well just throw the Rams out of their NFC. That's just my opinion. I don't think that they even make the playoffs. Greg says PJ Walker's best career trajectory is somebody's practice squad.
Da-da-da.
I think Greg is being a little disrespectful because obviously he's still a
backup. I think he's right.
I mean, but he's still a backup. He's still playing.
He's probably going to be back in the XFL. I wouldn't be surprised to see him back in the XFL.
Nah. He's too good for the XFL. Let's go ahead and move on. Let's go and move on. Stay in the NFL, PJ. We believe in you. All right, another game. Of course, we talked about earlier on. Don't be upset. Cardinals take on the Seahawks. Ish, I'll let you go on this one.
Yeah, I'm picking the Cardinals in this one. I think that I got a lot of respect for Geno and what he's been able to do, but he doesn't play defense, and that defense needs a lot of help. They're just not good. They can't stop people from scoring points, and as a result, I just think that Arizona has an offense, I think, and I think they're able to put something together at home and win this game. Maybe. I'm not even confident in this pick, to be honest. But I'm gonna just say, yeah, Arizona.
Well, I will say this: even though I did pick the Seahawks to win this game, the best thing for the Cardinals after this week is over, you get DeAndre Hopkins back. That's the best thing about after week 6 is at least you get one of your weapons back. If this is the game for the Cardinals to again, I know they are the favorite for this game, but I think if they win this game, this is a game that they steal from the Seahawks because, again, you don't have all your weapons just yet. And if the Cardinals are able to win this game and find a way to continue on with the momentum, bringing, of course, Hopkins back in and working him back in there, maybe the Cardinals flip the script when it comes to not falling off in the second half. Maybe they continue to get better. We'll have to, of course, wait and see on that situation for the Cardinals. But right now, the Cardinals to me are just too up and down. I don't believe in them just yet, but I will say I do agree with you is when it comes to Seattle's defense, it is horrible. So yes, if you're going to win this game, Arizona, you better shoot it out. Kyler Murray, you better go out here throw them toddler bombs, and you better be out here running around like a bad 2-year-old. Greg also says I agree with the Seahawks with the upset. In all honesty, Cliff Kingsbury is on the hot seat, even though he'll be back next year.
Dang.
All right, let's get on to probably one of the best games on to, this Sunday, if not the best, depending on who you are, how you look at it, and how these games play out. Bills versus Chiefs, of course, rematch of the 2022 divisional matchup this past season. Ish. I'll start this off first since you've taken the reins on the last two, and I'll keep it short and sweet. I believe in the Chiefs. I'll say that. Let me finish up. Let me start with this. This regular season game does not determine what happens in the playoffs. This is just a measuring stick for both teams to see how good both the teams are right now. But if these two teams match up again in the playoffs, division or even the conference championship game, I might have to throw this game out because of 12 weeks from now, we don't know with injuries. We don't know with it could be the home field advantage could be with the Bills because, again, if whoever wins this game most likely could be the number 1 seed. So this game could be played in Buffalo in the AFC Championship game. So with this game, even though I am picking the Buffalo Bills to win this game, if the Chiefs win this game and everything runs through Arrowhead once again, the Buffalo Bills find themselves right where they were last year. But this time, if it goes into overtime, you hopefully get a chance to obviously touch the ball and maybe tie the game, take it into a second overtime, and then Patrick Mahomes will probably beat you then. So with that being said, let the folks know how you feel about this game.
Yeah, I think the Bills are going to win this game. I think this is one of those games where there's a lot more. It means a lot more to one team than it does the other team. I don't think this game means as much to the Chiefs as it means to the Bills. And I think because of that, the Bills are going to come out with an energy and want to prove a point. Now, I wouldn't be surprised if the Chiefs kind of just let things fly, knowing that, hey, the Bills are going to come out here. They're going to want to prove a point that, had they had a chance to get the ball, they would have been able to win the game. And the Chiefs defense has struggled a little bit. They have been able to get a pass rush, but on the back end, there are some injuries there, and they're getting people back, but it's slow going at the moment. So Josh Allen could find a to pick apart that secondary.
Not good. He probably is going to. I mean, again, if Josh Allen is playing out of his mind right now. I mean, I don't know if anybody's seen the stats, but when you think Josh Allen can't get better, he's playing better this first 5 weeks than he has last year. I mean, look, Patrick, it's the elite quarterbacks right now is Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen. You maybe will throw Aaron Rodgers in there if you want to, and that's it. That's it. Like, I mean, until Jalen Hurts does it on consecutive years, until I don't even know. I'm trying to think of a guy that's on the like Justin Herbert again. I love him, but no, he's not. He's not. Even Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow, even though he got the Super Bowl, I still need you to do it one more year. I need to do a minimum one more year before I say, okay, let's crown him. Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes have been doing it for at least last 2 years for Josh Allen, last 4 years for Patrick Mahomes. So those guys get the benefit of the doubt. This game should be rock'em sock'em robots. Could be who has the ball the last drive to win this game. Let's get to the comment section. Lee says, I hope we just put up a fight, getting critical players back next week. Hope our boys show some heart, not counting us out. But if we win this, sheesh. And, of course, we know Lee is a Chiefs fan. This is a great question from Greg on YouTube. He says, does this game play a factor in the Odell sweepstakes? Ish?
Yeah, I don't think it plays a factor into that because I think and reports came out recently that he's looking for a deal somewhere similar to Michael Gallup's deal in Dallas. I think the Odell sweepstakes have always been about what kind of contract are people willing to offer Odell, not so much as he's picked a team and he's waiting to find a team or select, a specific team because of their chance to compete. I think, yes, being a contender plays a part, but at the end of the day, I think it's who feels comfortable giving Odell the kind of contract that he wants. And that's where time will tell, right? Like, people are going to have to see how his recovery is going, what he looks like after the recovery, what he's going to be able to offer to the team. And then I think that's when we'll really start to see clear players in the Odell market. But right now, all these teams that are contenders and they're winning and losing and battling each other out, I don't think that plays anything into his decision because I think he feels like he'll change whatever offense he gets into and, add that little sauce on top, I guess.
I'll keep this very short and sweet when it comes to Odell. I understand what Odell's looking for. I've heard Odell speak about he knows his worth and he knows what he brings to the table. I understand all of that. And you're not wrong, Odell. We got that. But let's be real with ourselves. Odell is an aging wide receiver. This is now his second ACL on the same knee that he's torn. And he got hurt in the Super Bowl, which was in February. We both know we've been around the game a very long time. We do know that guys are coming back a lot sooner from ACL injuries than ever before. But that does not mean that they are 100% healthy and are playing back to their 100% peak coming back early. It takes a full year-ish. It takes a full year to recover from an ACL tear, no matter if you're playing football or basketball. So if that's being said, that means that Odell really won't be healthy and ready until next season. So my question is to Odell is, are you trying to play this year for 4 or 5 games in the regular season and try to make a postseason run to try to win a Super Bowl? Or are you trying to play somewhere where you can play for 3 to 4 years and then also get that 80, 90, $100 million contract that you feel like that you deserve? But in reality, does Odell really deserve this contract? And I'm not even trying to talk down on the Browns situation when he was with the Browns and Baker Mayfield. I'm not even talking about that. I'm just talking about we know what the NFL is a what have you done for me now lately institution. And you played well for the Rams, but you got hurt to where you are looked at as a liability now. I don't know if a team is going to throw $100 million out there to you at your age. Like that's my thing with Odell's. Like, I don't know what you want. You feel me, Ish? Like,
Yep.
If you want to be that second or third guy with the Rams and help out there, that's perfectly fine. But you're not getting $100 million. You're not getting 80. I mean, if you want to go be with the Bengals and help out the young wide receiver core, cool. You're not getting $80 million. I mean, if you want to be that guy and get the money from somebody, then go to Atlanta, Carolina, Seattle, maybe. I don't know. Like I really don't understand and know what Odell is thinking of and what their camp wants to do with him. Greg says, great observation on Odell X. Not too many news outlets talking about the recovery part. Because they don't. Greg, I'm sorry. It's not sexy to talk about. It is what it is. When it comes to what they talk about on ESPN and Fox, it's about.
Well, it doesn't make for headlines, right?
That's what I was saying. It's the headlines. My apologies. Thank you for saying that. It's the headlines. Nobody cares about how long it takes Odell to get back ready, but it's true. I mean, look at the Cam Akers situation, and I'm gonna talk about that very briefly. Remember, he comes back from Achilles injury shorter than he probably should, and now he's having a disagreement with Sean McVay on how he's being used in the offense. I don't know if it's too much or not enough, but that's something, again, to look into for Cam Akers to see if he's going to be able to still sustain his high level of play coming back from his Achilles injury. So we'll see with that. So let's get to the Sunday Night Football game that everybody's waiting on. Everybody's talking about it. Everybody wants to see what's happening. This game, I'm mark it right now, everybody. Mark it right now. This will be the most viewed game so far in the NFL season, Cowboys versus Eagles. We already know Cowboy fans going to be there. The Eagles, the Philadelphians are hyped right now off of their Phillies going to the ALCS. They're going to support every Philly team right now. You will have all TVs on this game in Philadelphia. This should be the greatest show on Sunday night, hopefully. Ish, do you agree?
Yeah, I agree. I think this is going to be a really good game. It's going to be, unfortunately for some people, it's going to be a matchup of two good defenses against some offenses that we want to see. Are you the real deal?
That's right.
And that might make for a lower scoring game potentially, or we can find out that these defenses aren't actually what they've been chalked out to be, and it could be a shootout. But I don't think that's what it's going to be. I think it's going to be a moderate scoring game. I think that this is the first real big test for Jalen Hurts in that offense for Philadelphia. I think that they know the task at hand, and I've already said it. My thing is not wins or losses for this team at this point. My thing is, are you trending in the right direction to go and compete for a Super Bowl later in the season? And that's doing the right things. That's not making mistakes. That's growing as a team, growing as a quarterback for Jalen Hurts and making the right decisions. Those sorts of things. That's what I'm looking for. I'm not looking at the score in this game. I'm picking the Cowboys to win because I think that the Cowboys right now, they've got the momentum. They got the talk. They are the Cowboys. They do like that. They like
attention.
to be, they like that limelight, attention.
The good or the bad, it don't matter.
And I think that for them, they're going to come into this game. They really want to. Michael Parsons, I think that defense, they're going to really come after Jalen Hurts and try to make him, make quick decisions. And I think Cooper Rush is going to do what he's been doing, just be nice and solid. So I think the Cowboys win this game, but I'm still, favoring the Eagles. I still think the Eagles are going to go all the way and win the Super Bowl. And I think that as long as they don't come out here and look like deer in the headlights or completely look, worse than what we've seen so far, that makes us question like, oh, is this just a result of you playing bad teams or, being lucky? Then I think I'm still confident in where the Eagles are going.
The best thing about this matchup is that we get to see it not once, but twice. This is the first of two meetings. They're obviously divisional opponents to where, just because however this game comes out, like you said, it's not about the wins or the loss in this game. It's about how both of these teams are going to play, especially with the defensive side. Like you said, it's this. From what I remember seeing, I think the over-under for this game, I want to say 41, 42. It can definitely be under that because of the defensive performances on both squads. To where this could be a 14-10 game, and people are like, man, this is boring as hell. But in reality, I know this is a damn good defensive game that we kind of expected from both of these teams. So just because the Eagles are a 6.5-point favorite, I don't see the Eagles beating the Cowboys by a touchdown. If the Eagles do win, it's going to be by less than 6 points. But this is going to be hopefully, cross our fingers, this is going to be one of the best matchups we've seen in the NFL so far. Let's get to the comment section right quick. Greg says, I consider this Jalen Hurts, quote unquote, MVP moment game. He has to show everyone the progression that everyone claims he's been going through. Honestly, Greg, I mean, it's not that everybody's been claiming. I think Jalen Hurts has been showing the first 5 weeks of the season that, hey, whatever he's been doing in the offseason is working because he's showing it out on the field so far. And Travis Crowe says, good pick, Ish.
Yeah, Travis. Little do you know, I'm trying to jinx the Cowboys by picking them.
Oh, I do know, though. That's the exact same reason why he picked the Bills. Don't let Ish fool y'all, okay? Ish know what he's doing over there. Reality Ish, when it comes to this game, I'm excited to talk about it already on Tuesday to see how this all plays out. I'm not even going to hype this game up anymore because this game is already going to be hyped. They're going to have all the celebrities out at this game. They're going to have the Bradley Coopers and the Kevin Harts and the LeBron James going to be there and every other Cowboy fan that say they Cowboys and all that good stuff. It's going to be a good one. But at the end of the day, there can only be one. So we shall see how this game ends, or it could be in a tie. We've seen it happen already this season. Maybe it could be another one. But as always, we appreciate y'all for tuning in this Sunday morning for the pregame show. Please tune in on Tuesday for the Week 6 recap at, of course, 9 o'clock Central Time, 10 o'clock Eastern Time. We appreciate y'all always for tuning in. And if y'all need us, go ahead and hit us up on social media. And we'll, of course, get in contact with y'all. We'll talk about these games this Sunday slate. And we will see y'all on Tuesday.